Hey, Stella Bellafontay here from Tasty Topics, and I am inviting you to tune in on Tuesday, May 31st at 12 p.m. for my very first partial recording of a Tasty Topic. I'll be sitting with my special guest, Lance Liverpool. He's a model, actor, and friend, and we got into some really tasty subject matter. The title of this episode is From the Mind and Mouth of a Man. Now check this out. What you're going to be seeing on YouTube is the second half where I turn the tables over to Lance and he gets into the mind of a woman. For the entire tasty episode, you have to tune into the following streaming platforms. Catch it on Spotify, Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. That's Spotify, Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. Again, we are dealing with some tasty subject matter. Tuesday, May 31st, 12 p.m. I got my wine ready, and you should get yours ready too. Me and Lance are going to talk about some really interesting things. Again, from the mind and mouth of a man. See you then. Look forward to seeing you all. Take care. Keep it tasty. Stella Bellafontay here, sitting with actor, model, juice maker extraordinaire Lance Liverpool for a partial first recording of Tasty Topics. Thank you for coming to my table and welcome to the buffet. We're back. And what I've been doing is shooting some pretty heavy questions at Lance about sex, dating, relationships, life, and love. And I ain't finished yet. So we talked about riders and ride or die. Let's get into what men will ride for. Can you forgive a woman for cheating? Have you ever forgive? I mean, real like blatant cheating. Like she just slept with somebody else just because.
Honestly,
can you forgive her? Take them
I don't think I can.
Ooh,
honestly.
deep.
Yeah, I mean,
you hurting my heart.
Yeah, listen, I'm a understanding person. I'm a patient man. I'm not judgmental, but that for me is a non-negotiable.
Ever like okay, so
as far as I can see, I've never been in that situation to my knowledge.
So you know,
but as far as I can see,
So let's just say you and your lady, because you are currently dating someone seriously, y'all were really, really going through it. And I mean, sometimes we are just cruel to each other. We mistreat each other. There's miscommunication. Things happen. I mean, I've been in an experience with a man where because we were going through it, we weren't having sex for months. And it's like, well, damn, like, what am I supposed to do? You don't want to leave me. I don't want to leave you. But you're being cold to me because of whatever you're going through. And the affection was gone. Mm-hmm. You couldn't forget that? Like a woman who sought affection somewhere else because you weren't giving it to. Even after communicating. We communicated about it. I told you, you're hurting me. You don't touch me no more. We don't hug. We don't love. We don't kiss.
So you're saying because of the fact that me and her...
That's just one scenario, like right. An example.
No, but in this like example... Hold on. I'm just trying to wrap my head around what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, in this example, you're saying because me and her are not engaging sexually the way that we used to or once did...
Right. You just cut it off cold turkey.
You're saying... Would I be forgiving to her for her deciding to go be with someone else?
Yeah, like in a moment of passion or sadness, like you couldn't forgive that. You know what? I needed that honesty. Lance is giving me tasters the no, hell no, fuck no face. And again, we are drinking again. Let's talk about it. What are we sipping on?
Pineapple Bliss.
Well, we are having Pineapple Bliss to the hell no.
Yeah.
Because, and you know what? I needed to hear a man say that because that is some tough shit. And we talked about women with reputations. Okay, outside of a reputation, you know what else has been coming up that I feel is disrespectful as a woman, and I don't like it. Lately, a thing of body count has been coming up, and I know when I was younger, as a gentleman, the same way you didn't ask a woman her age, you didn't sit in a woman's face unless you thought you knew something or she was from around your way discussing how many sexual partners she's had. Like, why is that such a big thing in the 21st century? Like, men are literally sitting in women's faces asking them, so what's your body count? How many men?
You've had men ask you that question?
Oh yeah, men ask. Not even just me. It's like a thing now. Like I said, even we live in a social media age where it gets talked about a woman's body and mileage. Oh, they call it mileage. Like I can't believe that that's a thing.
Listen.
Does that matter to you? Body count and mileage, is it really a big deal?
It matters. It matters. But if I'm being completely honest, I'd rather not ask.
I like that. Don't ask, don't tell.
I'd rather not ask because it does matter, but it's also a private thing.
But you do know, like, am I the only one noticing this? That's something that men are asking lately.
I didn't know men asked that question.
They call it, like I said, one of the worst things I've heard it referred to as is mileage. Like a woman, like her box is not an engine, a car engine, and we shouldn't be concerned with the miles on it. Like, I'm going to call this dude out. There's a blogger that I follow. I don't even want to say his name, but he has a thing, like whenever he talks about celebrity women and the men that they date and, all their numbers, he talks about their body count. The meat curtain thing. It's like, I have to bring this up. I've heard men say that as far as mileage and body count. And let me tell you something. And I'm going to say this to you as a woman. If you are encountering women whose stuff is so busted that it looks like an open can of Spam, then you and her got a problem. Because I'm starting to think that the meat curtain is a myth. Now look, I'm going to let you know, Stella Bellafontay, I'm into porn. I have watched plenty of porn in my lifetime. And with all the porn that I have watched, I have rarely encountered a meat curtain. Where men meeting these meat curtain women with all these heavy miles and shit? Is that a thing, or is that just something that men say for jokes? Because I can't believe it's real. It's just women out here with a bunch of mileage and meat curtains. You done met a meat curtain?
I haven't, but I know.
You spread it open and it was an open can of Spam.
I think I'm a little more selective.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But you don't know. You can't.
No, right. But
got a meat curtain.
Right. But I'm just saying, during my vetting process.
Okay.
I'm a little more selective in who I choose. So no, I haven't come across that.
Okay.
I've been good in my vetting process.
Okay. And this is and then I'm gonna let you have the floor because I don't want to dominate the whole tasty topic. There's some things I want to know from you too. But I'm just curious, have you ever been in a situation where you felt like a woman was a better pick for somebody in your circle than she was for you? Like, how do men feel about passing the ball? Let me tell you why I asked that. There has been instances where I've dated men that it didn't work. I mean, just dated. We didn't screw. We might have went out on a date or two, and we ended up really just getting along, being cool. And there was a single woman in my circle that I felt like, you know what? I think she would be a good fit for him. Like, without her taking offense, I wish that I could connect them. Have you ever been in a situation where you were dating somebody and it didn't work out, and he's like, you know what? I got a homeboy she'd have been good for. Does that ever happen?
Absolutely.
Okay, so did you make it happen? I need to hear this. Were you ever, when I say make it happen, like, I know I've had the thought, but I've never been brave enough to say to a friend, hey, homegirl, I used to date this guy. I don't like him. He don't like me. We cool, but I think you and him should date. Have you ever tried to connect somebody you dated with a homeboy and it actually worked out?
I have successfly done so.
Oh, shit. Look, do still. Yes, thank you for being here at my table. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Was anybody offended?
No.
Initially?
There was no offense.
No offense.
So yeah, I have done that, but I would say the more successful version of what I did was I saw a woman just in passing in the street. I saw a woman and I was like, wow, that is my boy's type.
I like that.
Right there. I was like, wow, like my boy would go crazy if he ever, had the opportunity to date her or to get to know her.
Okay.
So I approached her. I approached her and said, hey, listen, you're very attractive, but to be completely honest with you, you are my boy's type to the T. And he would worship the ground that you walk on.
I like it. See, like, that should be like a new way of dating because I see it. I'm surrounded. Like, even with dating apps. So I'm glad I brought this up. I feel like they should have a feature in the dating app where, okay, let's just say, what's Black People Meet. I know I'm old school. What if we all on Black People Meet? You're on Black People Meet. I'm on Black People Meet. And you don't connect with me. I don't connect with you. But I look at you and see that you might make a connection with one of my friends that's on the app. Yeah. There should be a feature where we can pass the ball.
Absolutely.
Like, it was just something that I was curious about.
Absolutely.
So, but I'm glad that you were able to do it successfully. Me, I've never been brave enough, but I think I might open myself up to doing that with friends from now on, because in love and dating, it's really rough out here, and I feel like everybody deserves to be happy. Nobody deserves to be lonely, and we shouldn't be selfish. You know, sometimes I think that we keep people for ourselves, even though we're not interested in them, just because.
But my thing is,
it's immature.
What is there to lose in doing?
Absolutely nothing. You got people I feel that just save people, just keeping them in the stash, and it's like, in the stash for what? You didn't want them.
Spread the love.
Yeah, spread the love. I like that. So anyway, I feel like I've touched with a lot of topics from my buffet. I feel like you've had your fill with me and my bullshit, my fuck shit. So the floor is yours.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah, let's go. Whatever you want to hit me with, whatever you like to discuss today. He came ready. See, that's what you do when you sit down with Stella Bellafontay at the table. You come ready.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, before I go into anything that I have written down, I just wanted to, since we were discussing what men really think when it comes to women, you know, men's opinions.
Yes.
I just wanted to leave all of you ladies who this applies to, who was wondering these questions.
This is for the ladies.
It's for the ladies. What men really want. I was brainstorming before I came here, and you know, I knew we were going to be talking about different things that
a man who uses his brain tasters. You see this? This is a good quality man. This is a high value man. A man who comes prepared and brainstorms and is interested in talking and discussing relationships and a value system. Let's go, Lance. I'm ready. Give it to me.
All right. So I felt like women, both women and men can gain a lot from this particular episode, but mostly women, because a lot of these questions you asked me were great questions, and I think you represented women well in asking these questions that, you know, a lot of women want to know.
Yes,
and
I do.
Yeah, so I just want to leave you all the ladies, I just want to leave you all with this final thought in regards to that topic. So now, I'm just going to go over some of the things that I feel that men want.
We're ready.
From a woman.
Tasters, are you ready? He's about to give it to us. Right. This is an exclusive from the mind and mouth of a man.
All right.
What men really want.
Yes. And of course, this applies to just the men who are worthy of receiving these things. You know, kings who honor their queen goddesses. You know, and, you know, in turn want these things. So, as men, we want to be physically fulfilled, mentally stimulated, spiritually and emotionally fed, whether it be through expressiveness or affection, right? We want to be supported and believed in for our women to keep up with her appearance.
All right.
We want our woman to communicate openly with us. We want her trust, her to be loyal, love us unconditionally.
Preach.
And just stand by our side and be our number one fan.
How do you want to be loved? How do you want to be loved?
That's all we ask for.
Amen. And I needed to hear that. But like this is a big deal for me, because as I said, the point of this whole tasty topic, and that was beautiful, by the way. It was detailed. Ladies, I need you to hit the rewind when you're listening to this topic and go over that again. We have a gentleman, again, Mr. Lance Liverpool, model, actor extraordinaire, who just broke down what men really want. And basically, as you know, what's being talked about in social media lately, how does a man, a black man in particular, want to be loved? Please excuse the siren. Like I said, I live in New York City. I'm a big city girl. So you're going to hear sirens. You're going to hear all kinds of car alarms. Again, I just pray that you don't hear that mighty pow pow ever while I'm recording. And again, this is beautiful Brooklyn. You ain't going to hear that. You might hear a saxophone playing in the background before you hear pow pow. But that was beautiful, and I needed to know that. And you know I'm not going to let you leave here without a never have I ever. So, being that you got juice, now this is non-alcoholic today, but that's today only. Lance is definitely going to sit down at my table again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And when we do sit at the table together, and we're going to have other guests at the table with Lance, because I really dig this guy. This was so wonderful. We're going to be boozed up and spilling at the table. So if you listen to my show, you know I always end with what's called a sweet dessert.
Absolutely. And before we go into the dessert,
okay,
you know, because yes, I did leave you with a thought based on your topic, but I did want to. There was a topic that I actually wanted to touch on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't know. Look, forgive me. I thought Lance was ready to get out of here and end it all.
No, I'm having fun.
I love it. I'm having fun too. You know what I'm ready to do. Bookie boo. Look. For all of you, y'all don't know. But like talk.
I got you. All right, cool. So, all right. So, one topic that I wanted to get into is look. I grew up in New York all my life. Grew up in Brooklyn.
New York. That's right, Brooklyn, baby.
Yeah. I grew up in Brooklyn all my life.
We go hard.
And I will admit that New York is not the easiest place in terms of people and friendliness and things like that. But one thing that I have noticed in dating is that I've had a very hard time in terms of approaching New York women in the street, or even if it's anywhere. It could be at a supermarket, library, social event, wherever. Very hard time in New York when it comes to approachability with the women here. Now, what I have found is anywhere else I go, it could be Jersey, it could be down south, it could be anywhere. There's a significant difference in the approach. Much easier to talk to, much easier to communicate with, have a conversation with.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not always about just trying to holler to get a number. There are times where I'll be, because I'm a friendly person.
Right.
I'm a friendly person. So there'll be times I'm here in New York and I say, hello, good morning. A woman will look at me and keep it moving, not even say anything. Right. But when you go to other places, it's like, you'll get a hello back, you'll get some type of something. So I just want to know, I'm asking you now, why is it like that in New York?
Oh, I can give it to you. Okay, being that I am a big city girl, been living in Brooklyn, New York all of my life, what I will say, again, there's levels to it. New York is a hustle and bustle town. A lot of times when you approach women, especially if you're doing it just in passing in public, women are on the go. Yeah. We got places to go, we got things to do, we got things that we're up to. So the same way you say that you're friendly, it's not that I'm so friendly, but I feel like I'm I know how to read personality and character as far as moods. That's what I'm good at. I feel like you need to be able to, like, as a woman is walking, I don't care how fine she is, look at a person in their eyes. I feel like sometimes you can see the friendliness or the moodiness. I can even see that in men. Like, I remember having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine a few weeks ago while we were on vacation. She was talking about a guy that wanted to date her, and I'd known him in passing, and I said to her, you know what I never liked about him? He didn't have a calm face. There was something about his face that just always looked troubled. Instead of, it was always like, I feel like you can, certain women, if you really just take your time in passing, you can look and you can almost see like the frantic shit in their eyes or the terror. Like some women are so used to being clowned by men or being hurt. Like again, New York is a big city with a lot of experiences, and a lot of women out here have gone through so much bullshit. You know, we really walk by with that, I ain't got time. Yeah. But nobody said, it's not like you have to run women down. But I know I'm the type, if you really, like, catch a woman if you can while she's still.
But I have. I'm not saying.
I'm about to give it to you. I'm about to drop
right.
it on you. I mean, like, just really, like, just for instance, it could be at a cafe, you know, coffee shop, standing on the line. Excuse me, how you doing? Let me ask you something. Or start with what she's wearing. One thing, compliments will get you everywhere. Don't let a woman tell you otherwise. But it's got to be genuine. Don't tell a woman that you like her sweater and the whole time you sizing her up. Because men, I don't think you all realize when you do that, but we feel it. Like, I can tell when a man has approached me and he's trying to holler, but he's undressing me with his eyes. It's like, be mindful of that.
Be respectful.
No, not even respectful. I don't think sometimes you meet a woman that's so fine, you don't realize the up and down that you're giving her. Like the eyes, you're fucking this woman with your eyes and you don't even realize it. I've had men that made me feel completely naked because of the way they were looking at me. Try to give real eye contact. Extend your hand right away. Hi, beautiful. How you doing? My name is Lance. I'm just curious. I'd like to know you. Are you interested? Are you single? Women want to hear that right away. That's the first thing you say. Hi, my name is, just curious. Are you single? I'd like to get to know you. Beautiful. I love that outfit. Your hair looks really pretty. But when you just looking her up and down and you taking in everything from the thighs up to the kitty balls, and that's what you're looking at, we feel that. And we know that. So that could be it. And again, like I said, try to look at a woman's demeanor. You can see when a woman is rushed. If she looks like she's just in this big hurry to get away from you, avoid women like that. And then it's social situations. I feel like that's easier, especially if everybody's drinking. I mean, you should be able, like, let's keep it a stack. You're a good looking dude. Come on. Good looking brother, nice physique. Not saying that you should have no problem, because I know that that's very easy to say, but I feel like if you kind of like just shake up your approach, you'll see what I mean. Again, avoid women who seem to be rushed. Avoid women who look frantic in the face. And then let me tell you, I've seen women. I have hung out with women that take pride in shutting men down. And it's like you all have no discernment when it comes to that. There are women who are just standing in a public place looking at themselves in their phone like this all night. I know you've seen this. It's like, bitch, who are you looking at? Look at myself. My God, leave those women alone. Like the same way you feel like women are hard to approach, you'll have 10 other women on the side saying, I don't understand why nobody approaches me. Like, I got a friend right now. You met her at your film premiere years ago. Fine as she is, fat as her ass is, cute as her face is. You know what she says to me? Excuse me, Stella. Nobody approaches me. Nobody says anything to me. Then I'm wondering, is it an intimidation factor? But then when I see the women that you are brave enough to approach, it's like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, there's times I've been walking down the street and I've seen a man break his neck trying to holler at some cornball who's running past him, acting like she's not interested, and 4 other fly women have walked by. Sometimes, you know what? Take it as a blessing. The one that ignored you, the one that turned her head, keep it moving and turn your head and look to your left, and you might find the one that's easy to approach. But I will say that, yes, I believe that women from other states are softer and more easily approachable because the lifestyle is different. You know, It's the rat race. It's not the same. The hustle and bustle is different. If all you're doing is getting up and going to the mall and going to the Waffle House and going to get your little hair done and stuff, it's a little more laid back. It's like, hey, why not be nice to him? He's cute. And that's another thing. A lot of times, like I know, like my down south cousins and stuff. Shit, as long as you cute and clean, they gonna give you a chance.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's how it should be. Because like me, I could be suited up. Clean cut, everything with a genuine, friendly approach.
I like that you use the word genuine because in New York, honestly, as women, it's so hard to decipher who's genuine. I gotta be real with you and give you a story. A couple of months ago, I met a man. Not a couple of months ago. This is a lie. This is at the end of 2019, going into 2020, right before the pandemic. Actually, I met him New Year's Eve 2019, going into 2020. I thought this man was everything. He was so fine. He was so gorgeous. When I tell you his approach was just so everything, turned out to be a whole snake. I'm talking about a snake. His approach was just so smooth. His smile. It's like, you know how in the cartoons when somebody smiles, they got that little star, that twinkle. Yeah, I swear the little twinkle when he smiled. He gave me butterflies. My heart started flipping around. And he turned out to be an absolute asshole. So again, like I said, in New York, it's harder because of the hustle and bustle. But what I will say is, don't give up fighting a good fight, because what they say, anything worth having, you know the saying.
Yeah, I know.
Don't give up.
Right.
Like, don't just say, fuck it, I'm tired of these women in New York. They're not approachable. Well, you ain't looking for nobody anyway. You found your one, but somebody was easy to approach. Look, you're dating somebody hard body karate right now. So
well, this is a topic that me and a lot of guys talk about. So I had to bring this to the forefront because and then I mean, I want women to be conscious of the fact that it's difficult out here for men who are trying to approach these queens. And just, I mean, I'm gonna call it rude because, like, once again, if I say hello, good morning, just a greeting, and you look at me and keep it moving, to me that's rude.
But honestly, New York City is full of rude women. I'm not even gonna take up, just like it's full of assholes and no good ass men, or what I call fuck niggas. New York City is full of rude. Just like, I don't know if you ever used to watch. It was a couple of the street series and stuff. There was one that was called Respect Life. And at the beginning of Respect Life, they talked about that. They said in the theme song, New York City is full of scarred women. It's a lot out here. So you know what you do? It's like the needle in the haystack. When you find that needle, you keep her. Yeah. You hold on to her, and apparently you found your haystack needle. So you got nothing to worry about. I understand where you're coming from.
Right. I had to bring that up.
Any of the things that I told you,
absolutely.
Make sense?
Absolutely. But I just had to bring that to the forefront.
Look, to all the men out here who wonder why New York women are so unapproachable, I hope I was helpful in that regard. Like I said, a lot of us have been scarred. We've been burned. Sometimes we're just in a hurry. Or you know what else men don't seem to understand? I had to tell this to a guy friend of mine. Everybody ain't out here single. There's a lot of women out here that are involved and they're not single. They have boyfriends and they're in love or they're with their baby father and they just not paying you no mind.
Okay, and there's that as well. All right, so now my next question to you is, what's worse? What do you think is worse? Emotional cheating or strictly physical?
Honestly, physical is definitely worse because when it's emotional cheating, you can work it out. You can find out what. When you say emotional cheating, like what?
Emotional, like emotional ties, like rather than it just being you doing it just to get one off. And that's it.
Oh, you're still physically fucking somebody else, but you're deeply invested in this person emotionally.
Emotionally, right?
Oh, so cheating is cheating. Which one is worse? The emotional one, definitely, because I feel like when men cheat with their emotions, it's like, honestly, like, motherfucker, what were you trying to do here? Were you trying to break my heart?
Yes, I mean
that's why I say emotional is worse. It's like you when you say emotional cheating, in my opinion, it feels like you're really into somebody. I had somebody do that to me. I had somebody that was cheating on me with a woman that he actually liked much more than me. It wasn't a situation like men claim, oh, it was just sex and it was nothing. No, he actually was crazy about this woman, and he was giving her this bullshit about how he was scared to leave me because I would go so crazy. And it was a lie. Like, nigga, like if I knew you was fucking on me, I'm gonna let you go.
Right.
But the real truth was I was beneficial to him in whatever way he found beneficial, and he didn't want to lose me, but he was actually more into her than me. So to me, the emotional cheating is disgusting. Because that means you actually care about that person, and I'm just on the side for whatever reason.
Okay. Now the second part to that question is, do you feel like the emotional cheating happens more with men or more with women, generally speaking?
I'm going to be real with you. I would say men. And the reason why I say that, the majority of my sisters, I don't know about nobody else, the women in my circle are really not out here cheating. We're not. I know women that get mad and complain about men all day long unless they're really not cheating on them. They're actually mad and complaining because they're involved in a situation where their man is emotionally cheating on them. Or, just physically fucking on them. It's a very rare thing. Where, I would definitely.
I don't know. I feel like more so with men, it's a visual thing. A man will see a woman who he's attracted to. He'll want to sleep with her, and it'll be a physical thing. I don't feel like...
I'm going to stop you and say it's bullshit. Let me tell you why. Because men get too caught up in deep shit for it to only be that. What makes a man cheat on his woman and start screwing the next woman raw? What makes a man cheat on his woman and start screwing the next woman raw and get her pregnant? Do you notice that's why a lot of relationships break? That means your emotions.
No, I don't think that has to do with emotion. I'm going to be honest with you.
So that means that you just out here running around with like a chicken with your head cut off.
Some men do, but what I'm saying is I don't think that that's directly contributed to his emotional attachment to that woman. I think that he'll be having fun with this woman on the side and get reckless. It's reckless behavior.
But that's disgusting. I'm glad that you brought that up. That's something that I feel like women are out here forgiving that I can never forgive. As you said, reckless behavior. To me, it makes more sense if you told me as a man that you was screwing raw and got a woman pregnant because you was emotionally invested, not because you just was a dirty dick being reckless. Now I really don't get you.
Listen, I'm just being honest with you, but I also feel that the emotional attachment in cheating happens more amongst women, in my opinion.
Well, you know what?
I think for men are more visual, and it's a physical thing. And I think that women are more emotional.
The reason why I can't say that, and from my personal experiences, like I said, maybe. What's a female version of a simp? Maybe I'm surrounded by simps because honestly, Lance, and I have like friends in my circle where we talk about everything. No shit, Lance. Nobody in my circle is cheating.
But Stella, I would understand, I would expect that because you said that that's not how you roll, that's not how you are. So I would expect you to surround yourself with like-minded women.
I'm gonna stop you. It's so funny. No, I'm gonna chop you. That's not true. It's not that I surround myself with like-minded women.
Okay.
I actually had somebody years ago that I was close to who did used to fuck on her man like that. And there was no emotion behind it. I'm going to keep it real and raw with you. Okay. She was fucking on her man strictly because she said his dick wasn't big enough. The man was good to her. She loved him. He treated her right. Big old ring on the finger, buying her everything. And she would literally, I used to ask her like, girl, you don't feel bad? Like, his dick just ain't big enough, Stella. It's the dick. Like, and you know how I knew it was really physical? Because she would talk about it. She was like, if it just had like a little extra length, a little extra width. Like, it was like that deep to her.
So she wasn't genuinely happy.
You know what's so crazy? She loved the man. He was good to her. She was happy. But you know what? Okay, let's talk about this. Does size matter? You got people who say that it's all about the motion in the ocean, but for her, she was a size queen. Like me, I'm not. I don't want a pinky, but I'm not these women that have to have a foot long in me. Or you ain't gotta have a salami swinging between your legs to satisfy me. You really got women that ain't satisfied unless you walking around with an actual big ass eggplant hanging.
But hold on. So are you telling me that if you were with a man who was subpar in that department.
I'm talking about size. You can't help your size.
No. Obviously, you can't help it.
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if he happened to have a subpar penis, you're saying you
talking about overall experience or just
No, I'm saying hypothetically, if you ended up with a man who size-wise just wasn't cutting it, you would stick with him?
It has happened. Hell yeah, it has happened. Let me tell you.
You would be with him and stay with him?
Absolutely. Let me tell you why. You think every woman out here that's married and happy is walking around with a salami dick? No, absolutely not. You think that's what she got in her bed every night? Absolutely fucking not. Any woman that's looking in your face telling you that is a lie. Every man is not out here built like a fucking porn star. So I feel like as a woman to actually say that you only cheat on your man because his dick is not big enough, it's gotta be like you said, you just ain't happy, sis. Because I don't believe the memes that say if you love a man enough, 2 inches is enough. I ain't saying that far down, but everybody don't have to be this. Everybody don't gotta be this. You get what I'm saying?
No.
This is enough. You know, even a little smaller than this. This is love. This is marrying. You know, marriage size or whatever. But
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So give it to me. You got anything
all right,
else? I love this.
All right.
Look, from the mind of a woman.
Yeah. All right. So, do you feel women should be submissive to their husband?
Okay, I'm so glad that you brought that up. As far as submissive, first of all, let's get into it real quick. See, I know what my definition of submissive is, since we hear that word thrown around a lot, especially by black men. Let's see what submissive actually means. But since you said that, what's your definition of submissive? Like a woman being submissive?
To me, a submissive woman would be a woman who allows her king to lead.
Okay.
A queen who's willing to allow her king to lead. In a nutshell, that's what I see it as. Okay. Now, once again, that applies to men who know how to lead. Not every man is an effective leader.
Right.
And I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. So again, you got the definition?
Submissive, ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive. And honestly, I get it. Now, I don't like the meekly obedient or passive part, but ready.
It sounds harsh.
But to conform to the authority or will of others, and to answer your question, yes, because I feel like if you can't be submissive to your husband, then why did you marry him?
Okay.
You know, that should be the person that you should be able to be submissive to. Now, let me tell you what I feel submissive actions are.
Okay.
Listening when a man speaks, not questioning his authority, but as you said, allowing him to lead, letting him be the decision maker. So I don't have a problem with that. Where I feel that most women have issue with is because, as you said, most men have not proven themselves to be leaders. They have not done anything to make a woman feel like they could take the lead or be in a position of authority. I remember my last ex, him saying something like, "Damn, babe, won't you just let me make the decision sometime? Let me lead." And this is the voice that he's using. I'm supposed to listen to you to let me lead. Like, I'm involved with a man now who speaks to me like, babe, listen. I said I got it, right? I got this. No, he's not my husband, but he takes the lead. He's an authority figure. He doesn't have to ask me, and his voice is not like this. His voice is like
that's
this.
Important. All right, that's important.
Yeah.
So now the second part to that is, if a woman makes more than her husband, should that affect that level of submission?
Honestly,
in your opinion?
Well, it's levels to that too. Like, I feel like, first of all, when I look at situations like that, it's like damn it, how much more? I don't want to be out here with a good city job or, big corporate job and my man is flipping burgers. See, we're not going to go that far down the rabbit hole with it. But there's going to be times where you may make a little 10 grand a year less than I do. Maybe 15 to 20. But when it starts to get ridiculous, like I said, where I'm making salary and you're still on hourly, on minimum wage and shit, that is a problem because I feel like where we alike at. How did that even happen?
Well,
I want to know, hear me out.
Okay.
I'm 45 years old, so
Okay.
I'm going to be real with you. It depends, again, how much less than me you make. Because at 45 years old, I'm not even involving myself with men who have career paths and employment titles where they're making that much less, because there's honestly in New York City there's only a handful of jobs that only pay shit wages, and I'm not dating men who have shit ass jobs.
I got you.
You know what I mean? If you're working in Target, I'm not dating you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If you're working in the fast food industry, unless you're a manager, because truth be told, managers make a pretty penny. I heard that.
Okay.
I'm not dating. So yeah,
So,
that's
all
what
right.
it is.
So let's say for the sake of this question,
Okay.
Hypothetically, let's say that you were equal when the two of you met in terms of financially equal. Let's say he got laid off,
Right.
and now he has another job where he's making significant amount that's less than you. Could you?
I can deal with it as long as you don't see. To me, this is what makes a man.
And would that affect your submissiveness?
Honestly, it would only affect. You know what? I've been there years ago. I dated a man, and I was much younger. I was about 30, 31. It was during Sandy, and he had actually, as you said, he got laid off from his job. He got fired. And what made my attitude change was the way he carried himself in that moment. If you still are a man and moving as a man, I won't change. But if you all of a sudden become depressed, down about everything, mad at the world, sad at life because you're out of work, I think that's the problem that most women have. It's not because a man loses his job, it's who he becomes when he loses the job. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. As long as that don't change, I can rock with you.
Okay. And still be submissive.
Yeah, but honestly, we talking about husbands now, because I'm not out here being submissive to no boyfriend who done lost his job.
We're talking husband. Yeah, we're talking husband.
Yeah, my husband. Now, like I said, I went through that with a boyfriend, and it wasn't worth it because, like I said, his whole attitude and vibe changed. I'm gonna call it out. He started sleeping on the couch all day. I was an iron worker then. I'm busting my ass getting money in these streets. I leave my house at 6 o'clock in the morning for work and come home 6 in the evening. This nigga still lay down on the couch in a depression because he got fired from his job.
All right.
So I can't deal with that.
All right. Okay. I want to know.
Okay.
Should all forms of communication be cut off completely with an ex before entering into something new with your next?
I wouldn't say all forms of communication. Again, levels. It depends. Like, if it's an ex that you just broke up with, my question would be, what are you communicating about? Like, I gotta be real with you, Lance. I hear people say, me and my exes is still cool. It's not that my exes are my enemies, but there's no reason. It's like, what are the ties still? Why do we still have to talk? Like, I got one ex that we only communicate now because he has an aunt that I was very close to, and she's in her 90s. So everybody in the family is just, sticking by her, and they're preparing because they don't feel like she have long left hair. So he'll call me to let me know, what a condition is, how she doing, that. But otherwise, communicating with exes, I feel like it's unhealthy. Like, honestly, like that shit about my ex is one of my best friends and all this shit, I don't have time for it, because I feel like if your ex is your best friend, what you break up for? They so damn wonderful. What am I still communicating with you for? Why am I still kicking with an ex? How did you become my bestie? No, I'm not saying that all communication should be cut off, but there should be boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do you feel like men and women can just be friends?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're my friend. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at you now, even though we're co-workers, but just somebody that I can see as a friend. I got a friend now that's been one of my closest friends since elementary school. Like, it definitely happens. You're gonna have people in your circle. If you can't sit next to somebody of the opposite sex and be friendly with them and not fuck them, something got to be wrong with you as an adult. Like, absolutely, men and women can be friends. I see it all the time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I really got close friends and homeboys. When I tell you, Lance, they could never. And they don't ever want to.
Right.
Well, I don't know if they don't ever want to, we won't so. But I mean, we don't even think about it. It's not even discussed. We be too busy talking about the shit they go through with their women for them to even be thinking about it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, so
there's something I wanted to know while we were on the topic of finances and men and women finances.
Give it to me.
How do you think that dynamic should work in the household in a marriage?
Honestly, case by case, because sometimes, like, you're going to have marriages where financially you got one person who is the winner, who's the lion in the situation, and if that person chooses to do more as far as the finances, so be it. But then it shouldn't be First of all, I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like the man, because we were taught, and this is all the way back to the Bible, the man is supposed to be the provider, the protector, the hunter, the gatherer. So financially in the household, like, whatever you do is y'all's business, but it should be where nobody suffers. There should never be a situation in a marriage where I'm doing less or I have less because of what I have to do for the house. Like, for instance, I talked about this in a tasty topic. I don't believe in housewives when your man's not making enough to hold you down. If your man is only making $50,000 a year, you should not be sitting on your ass at home having babies, or just on your ass at home being a housewife when you could have a little gig. That's when your gig at Target to help pay for some of the finance. For instance, my last serious relationship, my man was about to retire. His plan was buying a house out of town. We was going to live together. He was going to start driving trucks. And I told him, he didn't want me to work. I said, well, why not, babe? I can get a job in the bank, nursing home, anything. He was like, well, if you want to, why the fuck wouldn't I want to? I'm still young. I'm healthy. I can work. So, yeah. I feel like as long as everything's paid for, and I feel like the purpose of a partnership, we should be happy and prosperous because of it. I feel like if two people are together and you're still struggling, something ain't adding up. Okay. Yeah, so that's really how I feel.
That's fair. This next question came to mind because I've heard women say what, in relationships, what they're not willing to do, the next woman will. So the question is, in a marriage, if a man wants sex from his wife, do you feel like she should give it to him just to keep him satisfied? You know, because once again, like, I've heard women say, look, I'll do it because what I'm not willing to do, the next woman will, whatever. I just want your opinion on that topic.
Too. Now, see, that's another thing. I feel like as far as sex, that's something that is deep that I don't think enough couples discuss. I think when we fuck, we just fucking aimlessly and falling in love, and it's not something that is focused on. I feel like sex is not something that should ever feel like a chore. And that shit about what you won't do another woman will, that's very outdated. I feel like that's things that women worried about because they were worried about losing these breadwinners. I don't feel like we're in a time where you should have to worry about that. I don't feel like sex should be a duty anymore. It should be something that both of you love, like, and enjoy as a couple. And then as a man, you should ask yourself, why is it that my wife or my woman isn't wanting to have sex with me? What's going on? I mean, unless you out here trying to fuck like rabbits. Like, I heard there was a couple I was reading about that have been doing it every night of their relationship, and it was like, my God, today, Jesus Christ, like, what kind of batteries they got in them? But I feel like the question again should be, when your woman doesn't want to have sex with you, is why. Let's talk about that before we start discussing what another woman will and won't do, and if it should be something that a woman feels obligated to do for a man. Basically, Daddy, why she don't want to fuck you? You know.
Okay. All right. I have one final question.
Okay.
Final question is, if a couple has an issue that's spoken about and resolved, should it be able to be brought back up months or even years later?
Absolutely not. You shouldn't. You don't even gotta finish that. I've been through that. I got a homeboy, one of my closest friends. We get into arguments about that all the time. I tell him he should be an archaeologist because he loves digging up the fucking past. I'm really one of those women where if it's the past, leave it in the past. We had an argument about it, we cleared it up. Don't bring it up. Like even when I find myself slipping with my dude now, it's like, babe, we already discussed that. And it's not like, oh shit, we definitely did, babe, I'm sorry. No, the past stays in the past. Leave it alone. Don't bring it up. And as far as talking about the past, that's a violation too. I had a man that I was with that would wait until we were in dirty, nasty shouting matches, which I don't engage in anymore, tasters. At 45 years old, you raise your voice at me, I'm out of here. You start yelling and screaming at me, I'm gonna start crying. It was a big fucking cry, baby, and then I'm breaking up with you. But we would get into these yelling, screaming, shouting matches, and he would take deeply personal shit that I said to him and throw it in my face.